he had the school surrounded by National Guard and would not let them go. So they were walking up the walkway, and they had FBI agents and stuff around them, and there were about 3,000 students throwing things at them. They were throwing eggs, and then they were throwing sacks of flour to turn them white. And, I inherently thought it was wrong. I can't say I was a great civil rights activist. There was something inherently wrong about 3,000 people picking on two. So I broke through the line and walked with them. And I actually saw this guy taking pictures. And then the next day, my family called up me from all over America, and I was on the front page of every paper in America. And
what were the newspapers saying? What were they saying about you?
They were talking about the race riot, and then they said young student Jimmy Brown under the caption, big pictures, front page. It was in the New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, the LA Times, because I have a very diversified family. They all get as far from me as they can. And they were all calling saying you're on the front page. And so I went and bought a Birmingham paper, and then I was on the front page of that too. And they were just saying, student breaks through line, tries to march, you know, going to school. I got beat up. Well, I didn't get beat up, but I had to fight a lot after that, because that was the nature of the beast back then. And I got a picture on the wall.
Okay, you want to show me the picture?
Yeah, sure. This is a decoupage I made from back in that day. That's me, and it says, I can't really see it, something to the effect of young student Jimmy Brown told he can't go to school. That's a National Guard guy. And in that picture, you can see they were lined up all the way around the school. And the Ku Klux Klan was passing out these. And I made this as a decoupage of a timepiece. But these are pictures of friends of mine where people would not get the wrong idea when I put this on the wall. And I had a little card that I just lost that the Ku Klux Klan sent me.
For marching with the black students?
They put a sign, a card in my mailbox, and it said, the Ku Klux Klan is watching you, and we don't like what we see.
Oh, what, did you take any precautions, or did you stop doing what you were doing?
I was looking for Ku Klux Klan guys to whoop. But I just had it. I don't know where I dropped it somewhere. But anyway.
And this, what was this right here where you're being arrested?
I was being arrested there. We're in Vietnam, for God's sakes. And the 101st Airborne did not allow African Americans to swim in the pool. So me and my buddy, he had saved my life more than once, went up there and jumped in the pool. So we got arrested for going swimming, and that's us being hauled off to the slammer.
For swimming together because you're mixing races?
Yeah, no, they weren't allowed, black people weren't allowed to swim in the pool. So I said, man, come on, we're going swimming. And
so what was the name of the school again?
Weston High School.
Weston High School.
Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. And that doesn't get a lot of publicity, but it was actually the very first school in Alabama that was integrated.
It's amazing.
So
were you pretty proud after you realized the importance of what you'd done?
Yeah, that's why it's still on the wall 40 years later, 45 years later. But, yeah, that's one of many. This one you can't read. This is when I got mad at people for picking on Jewish people. So I wrote the Jewish consulate raising hell. And it says, Dear Mr. Brown, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks for your letter. Your warm words of support for Israel were very greatly appreciated. Attached, you will find, please find, some information about Israel. I'm not illiterate, I just can't say Israel, which you might find interesting. If you are ever in need of any information about Israel or the Middle East, please feel free to contact me, and I will send you needed material, and it's by the Council General of the Israeli Embassy in America. And that's about it.
So you've pretty much always been a civil rights activist.
Yes. And in fact, my uncle wrote the book. It's called Kings Go Forth. And it's got Tony Curtis and Frank Sinatra and Natalie Woods in it. And it was a book about civil rights way before its time. And I recommend that. If you ever get a chance to read the book, it's Kings Go Forth. And yeah, my whole family's always been a civil rights activist.
Do you feel that the media did they influence racial instances?
The media influences everything, you know.
Do you think that they made it negative or positive at the time when you were...
Oh, well, at the time, of course, it was negative. But the media, in my opinion, they make it whatever sells the most newspapers, so... you know, I don't really have any opinion about that. But yeah, that was all covered. They were all over the place. Gave Birmingham a really bad name, which it was well deserved. And like I said, I just saved all this because it was just such an interesting period.
Seems like a great part to be.
Yeah, it was very interesting to be there. And I am proud that I, stood up for. And I gotta be honest, it was not because they were African American and I was white. It was because they were being bullied, and I hate bullies. So, that's about the high and low of it.
Okay, well, thank you for letting me do this interview.
You're more than welcome.